Well, we're on live, okay.
Yep.
Um, yep. What's up? This is the Double S Project Fantasy Football Chat. As I kind of mentioned in my Periscope last week, we've been kind of busy. Busy week for myself. Busy week for my man Double S Pete Dukes here, the father of our movement.
You silly.
What up, man?
What's up?
Yeah. And Pete chimed in with a pretty good interesting Periscope of his own late last week, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So both of us kind of got on and chatted. I kind of waxed on my situation, having lost to a formerly winless team. So
Are you
right,
serious?
yeah, man, I lost to Jason Graves. He was
He
winless.
not even paying attention, bro.
Right, I know, right? He ain't paying no attention. So hey, but you know what? I'd be hearkened if I didn't reiterate. Like in every league, we got that one guy that's playing for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and his perspective can change within 15 minutes. Like in the first 5 minutes, he knows everything, and in the second
Right.
5 minutes, it's like, wow, can you believe it? And I'm like, well, actually, yes, I can.
Right.
Uh, if I'm in a space, in
Mm-hmm.
in the aisleways of the office, not working at my cubicle or anything like that. You
Mm-hmm.
might hear me say this on any given occasion. Um, I've won about every way possible, and I've lost about
Both
every
of them.
way possible.
Yep. I've
Biggest
heard you say
one,
that.
yes, you've heard me, and you've said it too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, in fact, this week I took down the number two team overall in the Double S League. Um, Largely because I had some guys come through for me big time, but mostly because he's got 4 or 5 Bengals on his team. They've all been scoring a lot for him, and they're on bye week.
Yep. Just like you run into the other end of that scope where you don't get you have the luxury of not going against Bengals and Packers this week, and but you wind up going against the one team that gets hot, and that person just happens to have every Dolphin on their team,
Oh,
defense, running back,
oh yeah, I know who you're talking
and
about.
receiver.
Oh,
So right off the top, right at the 1 o'clock, round about the 1:45 p.m. mark in one of my leagues, I stopped watching the scoreboard on the fantasy. It was over. Those three players score more. Those three positions: receiver Landry, Lamar Miller, and the Dolphins defense scored more than 7 players out of my 8 on my roster. So that's just the way fantasy goes. One
absolutely.
team gets hot, and whoever had Ryan Tannehill probably won.
Oh, but you know what? That does bring up an interesting point because this comes up. Our league mate that owns a bunch of Bengals. Um, he's a Cincinnati guy, and normally that's not his practice in a league, but this is kind of a throwaway league for him. So he said, why not load up on a bunch of Bengals? Either they'll be really good or they'll be really sorry. And
Right.
thus far this year, the Bengals have been really good. I I've done it before. I did not necessarily get the opportunity this year to pick up a bunch of players from I guess what you would think would be a powerhouse offensive team. I've had years where I've managed to haul in a bunch of Packers. I think
Mhm.
at one
I
point,
had a couple of years. I hauled in. I had Peyton Manning, Edrin James, and Marcus Pollard
that
back in the 10 years ago.
was a league winning year, wasn't it?
No, that was the year I lost in the first round.
Oh man.
I lost one game during this regular season.
Well, that kind of brings up the point right there. Some people have asked, how it's generally advised against loading up on that one powerhouse team. My personal philosophy is, while I didn't get a chance to do it this year, I don't have a problem with it. Um, I don't mind throwing away that one bye week. I mean, it could happen. Okay, I lose one bye week. I'm still
Right.
first in the division. I'm still first in scoring. I'm still first overall. I still have a chance to get a bye in the playoffs.
Mhm.
That sort of thing. To me personally, it's not a big deal. You could argue it's worth it. you assume the risk that that might be the year that everything goes. I think
Right.
uh, I think one of my worst years, I had a bunch of Saints. I loaded up on Saints, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they just they were winning games, but they just weren't really doing anything, and I just couldn't count on other than Drew Brees. I couldn't count on any one player. It was just
Right.
a mess.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this week, my other league, I scraped by. Even though I had a bunch of Bengals and Packers on bye, I did have the combination of as a backup Carson Palmer and Chris Johnson, and got some help from Latavius Murray,
Hmm.
and I was able to squeak by. Oh, Michael Evans finally showed up this year for Tampa
Oh yeah,
Bay,
yeah. Well, he's
so
playing the Redskins.
pretty much. So yep, got a chance to get a W in my other league, but I had put a Periscope out there, and for all you out there following on Twitter at Double S Project, um, I had put a Periscope out there, and I'll be doing more of those later about the different websites as you come to to the deadline time deadline on your rosters, and you're looking at injuries. Seems like these websites are not been keeping up as they had in the
I had a problem
past.
with that last week.
Yeah,
Cost me a
so
game.
just kind of go with your instincts a little bit and make sure you are, if you have to be conservative, better be conservative and get some points than to play that one guy with a hamstring injury and you don't know what his status is until kickoff. Then
Hmm.
all of a sudden the website wants to update at 101 p.m. Sunday. You can't change your roster, and next thing you know, that guy's inactive.
Hmm.
I had that happen with Yeldon. I know a friend of ours had it happen with a defensive player a couple of weeks ago, and it cost her a game. So,
Got me
um,
with Steve Smith last week.
and 2 weeks ago with Andrew Luck, I believe, right, against me.
No, that was different. That was just the website did not make the.
Oh, it didn't make the
Yeah, I
change.
was on the road and it didn't make the
Okay.
change, and I didn't realize
Well,
it until it was into the
well,
Thursday night game. So
yeah, but it sounds like technically, the whole, concept of being on these sites, and of course, it's making it easier to calculate points and make changes. But
mm.
one of the things you depend on going from site to site is the writers being able to keep up. So
In the
definitely
past,
been.
on NFL. We're using Yahoo this year for this league, but on NFL in the past, I've complained about not so much a not getting. In my opinion, I don't get enough information from Yahoo. On NFL, I've gotten what I would consider too much, and
It's
I
actually it's worse
just
this year.
it's too much. They just give you too much, but it's like, he's healthy, he's good to go, but he could be a wide receiver five, but he's a must start in all leagues. And then again, he's only received two targets in the last. I was like, well, do I play him or not play him?
Right.
It's really still a matter of do you go with your guts. But I mean, if you're going to go on to the websites, if you're going to look at the information from the apps and all these other services, you kind of got to still have to take it with a grain of salt because they're guessing just like we are
And
when
I
it
think
all comes down to it.
the other thing too, by this time, you know your team, and that's really the only thing you're really looking at is what moves I can make on the one hot player. What well, if I got a position where it's arbitrary, if I got a third or fifth receiver or a third running back, and I can upgrade my roster by getting that one hot player or that sleeper player nobody's thinking claimed yet, or you're looking at injuries so that you can make sure you put in the right subs for
I do
whatever
got to
player.
say though, in,
Yeah.
in in all fairness, even to the prognosticators and the websites, this has been a weird NFL year.
Yeah, it's been weird, but you still got a
I
job to do. If
mean,
somebody hurt, they hurt.
I'm just saying, it's this. It seems to me that you do have less that you can count on. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
um,
I think it's a lot more. I think it's been a lot more. There's no real strategic. In the past years, you could probably get teams where you have a strategic perspective on how to play some of the players, but because of the running back by committee and because of the way the ball is spread around, and then the injuries, and then with
I'm gonna
all the
put it this
different
way:
people on suspension and quarterback injuries. Yeah, It's
The
been up
team
and
that I
down.
drafted was not good enough to go to be 4-3, which is what I am now. And
Hmm.
the fact that I've been able to make some of these waiver pickups that I have, and the fact that my team is so bad, yet I'm still middle of the pack and have a better than good chance of picking up the guys that I'm getting. I don't think it's speaking to so much my skill or wisdom in grabbing folks. Because there's like I said, it's like in a lot of these cases, I'm like, well, one guy's as bad as the other, I'll just take him.
Yeah,
And I've been, I want to say, lucky in more than a few games.
yeah, of
The
course.
the fact of the matter is, I'm like, yeah, I'm lucky, but there's some crazy stuff going on out there. I shouldn't be getting production from some of these guys I'm getting in spot duty
Hmm.
the way I have. And I know I'm not the only one out there. Sometimes some guys got just strong teams and they're going to be good, and they should be good. But there's some crazy stuff going on out there.
Yeah, yeah. But
Quick, what sort of waivers are you looking at making? Moves are you making?
I mean, if you haven't picked up Ted Ginn as a third receiver yet, you might as well go ahead and do that because he is the number one, and he does get anywhere from 11 to 20 fantasy points a week. So
Hmm.
might want to pick up Ted Ginn, and he helped me out last week, and I had picked him up a week ago, I think. To I've been kind of playing flip flop with my fourth and fifth receivers on one league. So I've been traded. I started out with Steve Johnson, then I flipped in, and I think I added in some guy from the Texans. Then I flipped in and wound up. Now I got Ted again. So seems like Danny Woodhead.
Yeah,
He got hot this week, but he's also put up some numbers, but it's been up and down. So you might catch him on an up week. You play him in spots.
you would
So
be
I would
that
look at.
if you got Melvin
It's a good
Gordon and you
flex.
haven't handcuffed him. Man, you're in a kind of a tough spot there. I mean, if anything, you want to find whoever's got Woodhead and see if you can trade him to him.
Well, but the key with Woodhead is that San Diego has decided to go with more passing the last few weeks.
Hmm.
Gordon, Melvin Gordon gets looks, but it's not to the abundance of you would think, a 20 to 25 carry perspective. So when they go to the pass attack, Woodhead is the best receiver and best blocker on the team. So he's on the field 50% of the time.
And
You
plus, the
know.
Chargers have been in these shootouts the last
Yep.
several weeks.
Yep. So I
Um,
will I will definitely look at Woodhead.
how you feel
I
about
would.
Amendola?
I feel it just depends on LaFell. I mean, was that a fluke, bad game, or is he going to get back on track here in the next week or two? Because Brady is not going to just throw. I mean, he's going to throw to the open guy. I mean,
Mm.
Gronk has probably a package. I'm sure Edelman has a package. I don't think Amendola has a package.
Mm.
So I think Amendola was just a result of double teaming Gronk and him not.
And
I mean,
Edelman
think
not
about it.
necessarily being
It,
his hand being
yeah,
kind of busted up.
because he threw the ball to LaFell. He just kept dropping it, but he
He just
kept
wouldn't
throwing it
stop
to him.
dropping. Yeah.
So I think Amendola might be more of a fluke, but I mean, if you looking for a fourth receiver and you can got a flex position, might as well get him.
Hmm.
If you haven't picked up them Jaguar receivers yet, you might want to grab one of them because they're pretty good.
Yeah. The ball
Hearns and
might not always get there, but they're playing from behind a lot.
but they're getting double digit points every week,
Mhm.
so that's all you can
Oh,
ask for a third
Hearn.
receiver.
I did pick up Hearn, and he did benefit me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So
a lot of talk overheard around the bulkheads of Arian Foster, though I was never really thinking he was gonna be anything
mm,
this year.
mm, mm, mm.
People were still in the boat on him when he came back. He got inserted in the lineups instantly, and then you kind of see what happened there. Um, how would you feel about having to go back to Alfred Blue if you were kind of short of running back?
I would go to him since he's going to be the primary. I mean, you always want a primary running back, whether you play him as a 2 or 3
Mhm.
on a bad team. I mean, like on one of my leagues, I have 4 number one running backs. Only one running back is on a team that you would think would always put up numbers, and that's Arizona. But Houston. I mean, it's play from behind, so he's going to throw the ball a lot. But
Mm-hmm.
Blue is a good red zone running back. So if they get in the red zone, he's going to score. So
Okay.
I would go ahead and pick him up. I mean, especially if you got another primary person already, a primary running back on your team, pick him up.
Now, there's a lot of talk about some people being short of quarterbacks right about now, due to
Well,
injuries, due to mostly the injuries. And you see right now, Houston, they're down to Hoyer pretty much by default at this point.
yeah,
If you're in a bye week situation and or you're stuck with somebody, personally, I think there's still some guys out there on the waiver wire, but you know, does Hoyer's name come up?
yeah. I mean, it's got to come up, but I mean, I guess here's the thing: if you got two situations where you got two injuries to two good quarterbacks, you just having a bad luck season. You might just chuck it up.
If it's
But
come to that,
if it's come to that, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, sometimes it happens that way. I mean,
hey,
I've had
did you?
studs up and down my lineup, and 4 or 5 of them get hurt, and it just happens. You just chuck it up, get the number 1 or number 2 pick next year, and
Hey,
figure it
you
out.
see,
But
you've seen
yeah,
on the message board from our league mate
yeah. But I
talking
think,
about he's stuck with Alex Smith, and
well,
I'm like, there's
but the
got to
thing
be
about it
somebody
is,
he can pick up.
but the thing about it is, when you pick up some of these guys. I've won leagues with John Kitna. I've won a league. I won a championship with John Kitna.
I
I won a
remember
championship
that.
with Jason Campbell. I won it, and I should have won a championship with Matt Castle the year he subbed for Brady. So I just made one stupid move at the end of the season and wound up coming runner up. So you can win with a mediocre quarterback. You just gotta rate. You just gotta hope you make the right moves with all the rest of the guys. Simple as
Yeah,
that. It's fantasy football, man.
yeah,
I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, but that's about it, man.
yeah.
That's about all I got. You got anything
It's
else?
No, I don't really have anything else. Like I said, I'm getting a lot of temperature gauging from the water coolers these days because, like I said, unfortunately, the last 3 4 weeks time has been kind of things have been kind of tough during the midweek to kind of keep up. It's like I barely have time to put a lineup in. Even
Okay.
I tell people, it doesn't take that much time if you don't want it to take that much time. And I dare say I've actually prioritized, let's say if you got to take the kid to dance practice, that's just what's going to happen, blah, 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 blah. But, just kind of one of those, it's a year that's just kind of flowed like that. In the past, I've been able to be maybe a little bit more engaged than this year. Maybe it's just the fact that I knew I drafted a bad team and didn't think it was worth the energy, but
Mm-hmm.
they're contending. So
Mm-hmm.
what can I say? I can't complain about that. So,
All right, man.
all right, then.
Well,
Well, they look.
look for the periscopes coming. Keep
Yeah, the
looking.
Periscope supplementing with the Periscopes. If you don't have Periscope, right quick, um, let me explain. If you have Twitter, you can get that Periscope access there. It's a Twitter owned app, and basically it's live broadcasting. And what Pete and I have done is kind of jumped in with some supplemental, I guess, monologues. You can hit us up while we're talking. You get a little notification on your Twitter feed. That's if you're following us at 3040 Aggie and Pete, whatever your Twitter handle
At
is.
Double S. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm using that Double S project.
yeah, he's not there.
At
Double X
Double S.
project. Yeah, I know we kind of sound kind of sloppy on that, but whatever. That's what we're doing. Um, so yeah, we'll jump on. You'll get the notice that we're there. That's if you've got the Periscope app. Hop on and you can do some Q&A with us, dialogue, laugh at what we're saying, cuss us out, whatever it is you feel like doing. Please don't cuss us out. But
Stop it.
okay.
All
So
right.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
you
saying
crazy.
that's how you get with us on the Periscope. I've had a couple questions like, "What are you talking about Periscope?" I was like, "Oh God, now I can explain that." So yeah, that's kind of how that works. Also, check us out on our YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up button for us, please. If you like what we're doing, also be sure to be on the watch out in a few minutes. We're coming back with the Double S Project live chat. What are we not doing that
No, tomorrow. We got to
tomorrow?
get back on. Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. Look for us tomorrow. I didn't. I guess I missed that somewhere. Yeah, look for us tomorrow. And then when you look for us tomorrow, hit us with a thumbs up, please. No thumbs down. Just a thumbs up.
All right, man.
All right, then, man. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Later.